cleaning up our air can also protect our mental and our brain health. So the physical impacts such as heart disease, asthma, cancers, etc. Are very well recognised, been recognised for decades. That causality link is very something that we're all very aware of. But more recently, researchers are beginning to understand how air pollution can affect the brain and the mind. So that's the focus of our Clean Air Day theme this year. So we're very excited to be able to discuss that with all of our partners. And there are various events going on Clean Air Day itself, which will be talking about that theme. I thought it would be really interesting for us to think about how the impacts on brain and mental health can affect businesses, and actually be discussing the effects of indoor air quality within a business environment are actually affecting cognitive performance of staff in the workplace, and also the well-being of staff. And actually, I can imagine that this is going to be something more and more that employers are going to need to take notice of as an employer responsibility.
Yeah, of course. So it's an interesting one. We've been interested in indoor air quality for a long time, for the whole of our history, really, with products, solutions, filtering solutions, control, CO2 monitoring, all of those things. Those were the main concerns about internal air quality for the most of my career, really, which has been over 30 years now in this. Mm-hmm. We always used to talk in terms of fresh air, about introducing fresh air. And it's certainly, when you meet people as old as I have who've been in this industry for a long time, it's hard to get out of that mindset, I suppose, because actually that's not overly the case anymore. Just substituting external air and diluting internal air without putting other efforts into it, cleaning it somehow, is actually adding to the problem. So we've worked with other bodies on this, such as BESA, on internal air quality, and actually created a guide which we call buildings as safe havens. You should expect that when you're inside a building, which the slightly depressing stat is we spend 90% of our time indoors of some description, then those should be safe, healthy places. So it makes absolute sense to me that, clean air is better than tainted air in whatever way you look at it.
And that actually oftentimes indoor air quality can in some cases be worse than outdoor.
Absolutely, yeah, because there's that's right, yeah, because there's a cumulative effect you find. So while the outdoor air may be, let's call it relatively dirty, maybe near a very busy road or an industrial area, for example, the internal space maybe doesn't have that air change rate, as we would call it, naturally occurring, or even adequately through mechanical means. So therefore contaminants can build up in those internal spaces.
Which I think the more and more we all become aware of the ramifications of that on people's physical health, that's mental right. health, brain health. I think employers and the owners of buildings and anyone who is having people coming in, so schools, hospitals, whatever service providers we're talking about, there's going to be something, I think, more and more that we need to think about the responsibility of how we're looking after those people in those spaces and the air that people are breathing within those spaces.
Yeah, quite right.